You know this story. You grew up with it. Every October, across India, his effigy burns, 100 feet tall, stuffed with firecrackers, set alight while crowds cheer, his 10 heads catching fire one by one. His fall the centerpiece of a festival that has been celebrated for centuries. Ravana, the demon king of Lanka, the greatest villain in Indian mythology. You know it like this. Ravana was the king of the Rakshasas, a demon, a tyrant, a kidnapper. He abducted Sita, the wife of Lord Rama, and held her captive in Lanka. He was brilliant and powerful but consumed by ego and lust, and so Rama, the ideal man, the perfect king, the seventh avatar of Vishnu, crossed the ocean, built a bridge of stones, fought an army of demons, and killed Ravana. Dharma triumphed, evil was destroyed. Every year we burn him again just to make sure. That is the story you know. Now let me tell you what the Ramayana's oldest and most regional versions actually say about who Ravana was, what he believed, and why if you read the full text carefully his story is far more complicated than a bonfire. The version of Ravana that most people know comes primarily from Valmiki's Ramayana, a text of extraordinary beauty, written somewhere between the 5th century BC and 1st century CE. It is one of the greatest works of literature ever produced. It is also, by design, a text with a hero. And in a text with a hero, someone must be the villain. But here is what is strange about Valmiki's Ravana. He is the most educated character in the epic. He is the greatest musician, the greatest scholar, the greatest devotee of Shiva in the entire text. When Rama kills him, Rama himself sends Lakshmana to sit at Ravana's feet and learn from him because even in death, Ravana is acknowledged as the greatest political and strategic mind of his age. Think about what that means. The hero of the story, immediately after killing the villain, sends his brother to learn from that villain's wisdom. This is not how you write a simple monster. This is how you write a man you wish had been on your side. Go back to the beginning, before the war, before the abduction, before Lanka. Ravana was born to a Brahmin father Vishrava, a great sage, and a Rakshasa mother. He was by birth both worlds, scholar and warrior, Brahmin and demon. The tension of those two natures ran through everything he ever did. He performed tapasya, extreme austerities, for 10,000 years to please Brahma, not for power over others, for knowledge, for the boons that came from absolute devotion. He cut off his own heads, one by one, as offerings. Each time Brahma restored them. 10 times this happened. 10 heads, not a monster's face, but the mark of a devotion so extreme it had to be stopped before it consumed the universe. Brahma, moved, asked what Ravana wanted. Ravana asked for near invincibility against gods, demons, and divine beings. He did not ask to be protected from humans. He considered humans beneath his concern. This is the detail that makes everything else possible and everything else tragic. Ravana's arrogance was not random cruelty. It was the arrogance of a scholar who had genuinely mastered more than almost any being alive and knew it. He underestimated humans not because he was stupid, but because nothing in his enormous education had taught him that a man could be more than a man. He never learned to fear what he could not measure. Let us talk about the Shiva Tandeva's Stotram, because this is where the story becomes truly strange. The Shiva Tandeva's Stotram is one of the most powerful hymns in the Sanskrit tradition, a breathtaking piece of poetry describing Shiva's cosmic dance of destruction and creation. It is still sung in temples across India today. Ravana composed it. Not a saint, not a sage, not a devotee in a temple. The demon king of Lanka, the man we burn every October, wrote one of the most enduring pieces of devotional poetry in Hindu history. But go further. The legend behind the Stotram is even stranger. Ravana had gone to Mount Kailash to visit Shiva. When he arrived, Shiva's attendant Nandi refused him entry. Ravana, insulted, attempted to lift the entire mountain with his bare hands. Shiva calmly pressed the mountain down with his toe. Ravana's hands were trapped, crushed. What did Ravana do? He did not rage, he did not curse, he used the pain, he plucked his own tendons like strings of a veena and sang. For 1,000 years he sang, using his own body as an instrument of worship for the god who had just destroyed his hands. Shiva, moved beyond measure, released him and granted him a divine sword. Consider what this tells us about Ravana. This is not the act of a man defined by ego and cruelty. This is the act of a man whose devotion was so absolute that suffering became music. The same man, the same Ravana, who we burn every October. The ancient Indians knew Rama was not simple. The Valmiki Ramayana itself contains the evidence. Think about what Rama did. He abandoned Sita, his wife, who had survived captivity and fire because a washerman questioned her honor. He killed Vali by shooting him from behind a tree while Vali was engaged in single combat with another. He ordered the execution of Shambhuka, a lower caste man, simply for performing austerities that were considered the privilege of higher castes. These are not the acts of a simple hero. These are the acts of a man bound absolutely by the social order of his time. Ravana, by contrast, had abducted Sita. This is true and cannot be excused. But within Lanka, according to the Valmiki Ramayana itself, he did not touch her. He kept her in the Ashoka grove. He sent women to reason with her, not guards to threaten her. When she refused him, he waited. He never forced her. This detail is in the original text. It is not a modern revision. Ravana, the kidnapper, the villain, the demon, showed more restraint toward a woman he desired than many celebrated heroes show toward women in the same epic. This does not make the abduction acceptable. It makes the story infinitely more complicated. You cannot easily tell the story of a villain who exercises restraint, but you can burn his effigy every year and not ask why. In the Jain tradition, one of the oldest religious traditions in India, predating the Brahmanical Ramayana, there exists a completely different Ravana. In the Jain Ramayana, Ravana is not a demon. He is a great king, a philosopher, a man who believes in karma and non-violence. He is not a Rakshasa in the sense of a monster. He belongs to a human lineage that has been labeled Rakshasa by those who fear his power. The Jain text Uttara Purana describes Ravana as a man of extraordinary moral complexity, someone who makes terrible choices for comprehensible reasons, and who ultimately accepts the consequences of those choices with more dignity than almost anyone else in the story. In Sri Lanka itself, the island Ravana ruled. He is not a villain at all. He is a national hero. King Ravana is worshipped in Sri Lanka as a great monarch, a healer, a master of medicine, the inventor of the Ravanhata, one of the oldest string instruments in human history. There are temples dedicated to him. There are political movements in his name. There are Sri Lankans who will tell you plainly that the Ramayana is the story of their king's defeat at the hands of an invading army, and that the demons are their ancestors. Same story, completely opposite meaning, depending entirely on which side of the ocean you were born on. And none of this is the part of Ravana's story that nobody talks about, the part that changes everything if you know it. Ravana had a sister, Shurpanakha. She encountered Rama and Lakshmana in the forest. She was attracted to Rama. She expressed this openly, which was, in Rakshasa culture, entirely acceptable behavior for a woman. In human culture it was not. Lakshmana cut off her nose and ears. Not in battle, not in self-defense. She was unarmed. She had made an overture that was culturally inappropriate by their standards, and Lakshmana mutilated her face. She came to Ravana, her brother. She showed him what had been done to her. The abduction of Sita, the act that started the war, the crime that defines Ravana's villainy for eternity, happened after this. This does not justify the abduction. A wrong responding to a wrong is still a wrong. But the story of a demon who kidnapped a woman because he was consumed by lust is not the story in the text. The story in the text is a brother who saw what had been done to his sister, something that in any culture at any time would be considered an act of profound violence, and responded wrongly, catastrophically, with consequences that destroyed his kingdom and killed his sons. But not randomly, not from lust, from love. The Ramayana's greatest villain acted from the most human of all motivations. He loved his sister, and he could not let it go. The story of Ravana has been retold across 3,000 years of Indian, Sri Lankan, Southeast Asian, and Jain literature. Every culture that touched the Ramayana found something different in Ravana or found something it needed him to be. For a long time, the retelling was simple: villain, demon, ego, destroyed. But something is shifting across contemporary Indian literature, across Sri Lanka's cultural identity, across the millions of people who watched Adipurush and felt that something was missing. A more complicated Ravana is emerging. Not a hero, never a hero, but a man. There is a reason this version resonates so deeply right now. We live in a world that needs its villains simple, that needs evil to be recognizable: a 10-headed demon, a burning effigy, something we can set alight and walk away from. Because if the villain is complicated, then the story is complicated. And if the story is complicated, then we have to think about it. The Ramayana has survived 3,000 years because it contains everything: the ideal king and the brilliant monster, the devoted wife and the mutilated sister, the bridge of stones and the burning city. It survives because it is not simple. We make it simple every October. Ravana composed music from his own pain. He mastered 10 fields of knowledge so completely they became his face. He accepted his death because somewhere inside him he knew the moment he touched what was not his to touch that the story only ended one way. He walked toward it anyway, not because he was evil, because he was proud, and pride in the end is the most human thing of all. Script by Grey Wall Stories. Every wall holds a story. Some walls were built to keep the wrong man out.